People are full of surprises, especially when you travel together. Thankfully, Vrbo is not. When you book a Vrbo, you get Vrbo Care and 24/7 live support, so your house doesn't surprise you like your friends might. If something's not as described or doesn't work, Vrbo's there. Real people, real support, anytime. Book today on the Vrbo app. If you know, you Vrbo. Terms apply. See vrbo.com/trust for details.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
This episode is brought to you by Redfin. You're listening to a podcast, which means you're probably multitasking. Maybe even scrolling home listings on Redfin, saving homes without expecting to get them. But Redfin isn't just built for endless browsing. It's built to help you find and own a home. With agents who close twice as many deals, when you find the one, you've got a real shot at getting it. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
There's a party each and every year on Christmas Eve, where the fun and cocktail shrimp don't seem to end. Clark and Ralphie taking turns on the TV screen, laughing, singing, yelling with all of our friends. Well, it's Christmas, and everybody's gonna spread the holiday cheer. 'Cause it's Christmas. Whoa, oh, it's the best time of the year. Let's go fake reindeer.
Hey, Dylan.
Hey, Matt.
Today, we are following the demands of our Patreon. That's right, everybody. We've got a Patreon, patreon.com/Christmas365 podcast, I think. Either way, it's in the show notes. You can just click that link if you want to join the Patreon. The Patreon gets to pick something for us to talk about every month, basically every month. Well, there'll be some rough periods
As long as
there.
it's good. No, I'm just
Well,
kidding.
we'll see. But this week, my original plan was that people would comment a bunch of specials and then I'd pick a couple random ones and put a poll up. But when I made the original post, every single person said you need to do the Doctor Who Christmas Carol episode.
Oh, nice.
So this was like, all right, well, this is already a unanimously decided topic from our patrons. So here we are talking about Doctor Who, A Christmas Carol. Now, I was promised something by the Patreons, and I think that it's like 95% true, which was like, you can go into this really not knowing anything about Doctor Who, and you'll be like caught up and understand things for the most part.
Maybe.
I had watched up until the Matt Smith seasons of Doctor Who kind of begrudgingly. This just was never a show I got into, but I felt like I was supposed to like it.
Hold on.
Yeah.
You watched up to this, like,
So I watched
starting from where?
starting from whenever they rebooted it. So
Okay,
like,
all right, cool.
So I
was
watched like
wait.
3 or 4 seasons of the show.
You're like, I begrudgingly watched 3 decades worth of content.
I was like, it's just not working for me. Now, there was someone who was convinced I would love it, and I
So you watched like the David
appreciated
Tennant
it.
stuff.
It was fine, but I know that this is a show that for some people, like, they watch Doctor Who the way that some people watch The Office, or I watch The Scrubs, where it's like their comfort show to throw on. And this was kind of one of those, like, if I was at someone's house and they were watching Doctor Who, I wouldn't be upset about it, but I'm not going to, like, actively sit down and want to watch Doctor Who. Like, I tried, and I tried harder than most people try before they check out. Like I said, I watched 4 seasons, and I was like, it's just
based
not
on
for
what
me.
you just said, you have tried harder than I have.
But I even like when the girl showed up, whose name I'm already blanking on. I think it's Rose or Amy. I don't know.
It's Karen Gillan.
Yeah, when Karen Gillan showed up, I was like, okay, I remember this character. And then a guy showed up dressed as a Roman, and I'm like, I don't know who he is. And then I was kind of confused. Now, I think what they mean, in all honesty, is if you remove the wraparound of the ship and
yeah,
just
it's
focus
a very
on the bulk.
self-contained.
Yeah, the bulk of the story is fairly self-contained. The ship, honestly, until the very end where they're all singing, almost slows down the enjoyment for me.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
Like if this was just like a one-off Doctor Who changes one guy's life Christmas Carol style, like I'd have been like, this is such a delightful, and I do think that this is there's like a magical energy throughout this special. I wrote down a couple quotes that made me laugh and stuff like that, but I'm curious what you thought about this.
So like again, I will repeat, you've tried harder than I have getting into Doctor Who. I would say like I have, because we exist in the realm that you and I exist in, the genre world.
You're aware of him.
Well, yes, I'm very aware. I have plenty of friends who are super into Doctor Who. And I have, much like you have, tried, but again, not as hard. Like I have watched various episodes. I've stumbled across the like scariest monsters in Doctor Who, and I'm like, oh, this show's like supposed to be like genuinely creepy too, and like I'll check out episodes of that, and I'm like
the episode Blink is amazing. I think the episode Blink is really, really good.
Yeah. So going through those different episodes, I was just like, okay, so it's supposed to be semi bad, like that. That was kind of my take.
I think the word that they would prefer is cheeky. But
yeah,
yes,
cheeky and campy, and I'm like, I kind of get it, but I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't always hit for me. Now, that being said, that was years ago. I have not sat down and watched a Doctor Who episode like in a decade, maybe.
Yeah.
Like I've kept up with understanding what's going on because it pops up on like my news feed every once in a while. I'm aware of the various changes in doctors and everything else.
See, that's what I was going to say is Matt Smith might be the last one that I distinctly remember.
Yes,
I know
very
that they've
distinctly,
changed,
but I just know that they've changed, and I know it's been like controversial changes and whatnot, quotes around that because we know who's whining.
Yeah. Yeah, we know who found it controversial.
Exactly. So all of that being said, when I started this episode and we start on the spaceship or the ship or whatever the hell, and we see Karen Gillan's character and then this guy dressed as a Roman, and then like the whole deal on the ship, I'm like, why are we watching this? Because neither one of us has any idea what's going on here.
Yep.
I don't know how these characters got here. I don't know who these people are. I don't know what's going on. And I will say, about 10 minutes into the episode, as we get to what is the meat of the story, I'm like, I'm in. Like, I'm locked in. I really enjoy the Matt Smith. Like, all of his lines are just so good. They're so witty. They're so good.
The first like two lines early on that he says that really kind of worked for me is when he first shows up at this house. So we established that there's this guy, Kazan. Is that how his name is? I want to say it's Kazan. You can correct me in a second. Kazran.
Yeah.
So close. Kazran, he's very much a Scrooge type character. He has the ability. Basically, this ship needs to get through this storm cloud that is being generated by a machine on the roof of his house, but he refuses to turn off the machine and save like 4,000 people's lives because he's a very Scroogey, Grinchy kind of guy.
Which I would argue probably the most evil Scrooge we've had.
Oh, 100%. 100%. He actively wants to kill 4,000 people.
Yeah. Other Scrooges are like, if they die, they die. But I'm not like actively. I cannot specifically say like, oh, if I press this button, it will save 4,000 people. I don't know if Michael Caine is going to go, no, I'm not pressing that button.
Yeah, I can't do that. We also meet this family who is there to see their frozen family member. There's a bunch of people cryogenically frozen in this man's house. We'll get into that.
For reasons?
Yeah, for reasons. We'll get into that. But he's refusing to unfreeze this woman, and he's refusing to save these people. Doctor Who shows up. He bursts out of the chimney, and this is like the first line I loved, where he goes, it's Christmas. I saw a chimney, and I thought, what the hell? He's
got a few of those. There's like a. I don't know how much we're gonna get into the plot point of the fish, but like there's floating fish throughout this episode. I still haven't totally put together why. However, there's a shark at one point, and this was the line that got me. The shark ends up eating his screwdriver, his magic wand type deal, and he just looks at the kid and goes, well, I've got 2 goes of it, and then it's your turn. And it just made me giggle. He's like, 2 goes of it. He's like, yeah, well, I only got 2 arms. Like it was little stuff like that would go throughout the episode. That was really like kind of what brought my attention in.
You know what? I'm going to try to make this really easy for us, because it's clear that we're struggling here, right, listeners?
What do you mean?
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just read the 2-paragraph plot summary that's on Wikipedia, because I think we're going to struggle with so many elements here.
Okay.
So, a space liner carrying more than 4,000 passengers loses control when passing through a strange electronic cloud over a human-inhabited planet. The 11th Doctor discovers that the clouds are controlled by a bitter old man who refuses to allow the ship to land safely.
Pause. I think that this is something that we would understand more if we had watched the show. If
100%.
we understand the direction that the show is coming in, like to understand, like, oh, and I kind of got this halfway through. I'm not supposed to understand half of this.
No.
Like, I'm not supposed to be asking the question of, wait, well, how does that work?
Yeah, well, because if there's one thing I do remember about my Doctor Who viewing is that it is like simultaneously a narrative story and also an anthology show all at once, because it's just, here's a weird planet that we're never going to come to again, but we're going to be here, and for the next hour, you're just going to have to buy into every weird quirk about this planet.
Although this planet that is like half steampunk, half the set of Mystery Men, really, like
yeah. So
I'm in. I want to go back here all the time.
Who discovers Kazran's fear of his domineering father, the inventor of the cloud controlling machine, and his wish to never be like him. So the Doctor travels to his past in order to change it. Meeting Kazran as a young boy, the Doctor uses his sonic screwdriver to summon a shark that swims in the clouds and the fog. The shark eats the screwdriver, wounding the shark, and is unable to swim back to the clouds. In order to save the shark, Kazrog takes the shark to the cryogenics storeroom, where Kazrog's father has kept people in storage. Here it is. So this is the part we were missing. He keeps people in storage as security for the loans that they owe, including a woman named Abigail. So basically, like, similar to how Scrooge has has almost everybody in town under his thumb because they owe him for land and property. Yeah. In this world, instead of, say, cutting off a thumb or something, it's like, you owe me money, and until you pay me, one of your family members is going to be cryogenically frozen in my basement.
Also, I again go back to the I'm not supposed to understand things in this world, is how quickly you did gloss over the fact that there is a floating shark.
There's just a shark in the sky. Well, because there is this element, and I did find this charming. I feel like it helped me get past the craziness of all of it.
Yeah.
Is that he is bewildered by it, right? Like, and he makes that comment where he's like, how the human mind ever becomes bored, I will never understand.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that one sentence is supposed to be like the entire message of Doctor Who, is that like there's this whole amazing world around us, and like boredom is no one's fault but your own. Like there should be amazing things. So he tries to explain it. I want to read the other 2 quotes I wrote because we're about to pass both of them.
Yeah. Sorry,
but he talks about being like Santa Claus, and he goes, Santa Claus, Father Christmas, or as I know him, Fred. And he pulls out just a random photo of him with Santa Claus.
Half Man, the new HBO original limited series from Baby Reindeer creator Richard Gadd, examines the tumultuous relationship between 2 estranged brothers, tracking the highs and lows of the pair over the course of 40 years. Starring Emmy Award winner Richard Gadd and BAFTA Award winner Jamie Bell. Half Man premieres April 23rd on HBO Max.
Refreshing wild cherry cola meets smooth cream. The treat you deserve. Pepsi Wild Cherry and Cream. Treat yourself.
You've been lost in the woods for hours now, stumbling around in the dark. You come around the bend and see two people roasting marshmallows over a roaring fire. They see you coming into the clearing and gesture over to pull up a log. Welcome to Campfire Ashes. I'm Paul.
And I'm Jess. Join us as we tell each other our originally written spooky stories around the campfire and then dive into the lore and legends that inspired them. Is it something that goes bump in the night? Is it something menacing lurking past the tree line? Or is it just weird and otherworldly? You'll find it here on Campfire Ashes.
You can find us on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, or right here on the Geekscape Network.
So it was at this point when they go to unfreeze this woman named Abigail.
This is when I got pulled in and started to really like the show.
Because I mean, you know why, right?
Why?
This is just the prequel trilogy.
Yeah.
These are just the prequels. We literally watch this grown woman fall in love with this child.
Yep.
And then we pick up years later and they're necking.
Yeah. Listen to you necking.
I don't want to say anything else. Everything else seems inappropriate.
That's
Abigail,
true.
this boy was like 9. What are you doing? I understand that you're frozen and years pass. But there's even a moment, the Natalie Portman moment of, what, Ma, you've grown.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, we'll get there.
All right.
So,
go for
Abigail's in storage.
Yeah.
When she's released, she's able... They release her from the
You just
cryogenic
pull her out.
chamber, and she's able to soothe the shark. And the doctor uses Abigail's storage unit to transport the shark back to the sky. As the doctor and Kazran return Abigail to storage, Kazran promises her that they will see her every Christmas Eve. And then we do get this very charming, like, montage of as every Christmas has gone by, and her being so excited that, like, I'm unfrozen again, and it's my friends, Kazran and the doctor. The doctor keeps the promise, and a romance blooms between Kazran and Abigail. However, after one such visit, Kazran requests the doctor end the practice, keeping Abigail in storage indefinitely, as Abigail has an incurable illness and only one day left to live.
So you would think that the doctor, being as intuitive as he is, would
have figured that out already?
Would notice these numbers counting down on the front of her cryogenic door.
You would.
Because both of these characters, even the kid, didn't understand that she was dying until she told him at that wedding.
Yep.
So you do have two very smart characters that are just glossing over this giant number counting down on the front of this door. You think they go, what is that number?
Now a nice little
one.
twist to this, though, is that while Kazran is, like, really pleased that he has these positive memories of his childhood now, he's still a bitter old bastard because the love of his life is still going to die in a day if he ever was to see her again. So he's still like, nah, fuck that ship and fuck them people. I'm sad.
Yeah. And I kind of liked that.
Yeah.
However, I feel like, okay, so this episode was already an hour long. However, I still feel like with it being an hour, I still think there was a lot of character development that still needed to happen to kind of earn some of these changes. Because it does feel like he goes from... Because eventually he does make the switch to, okay, we'll let her out. And I feel like that was very quick.
It was. So here's what Wiki has to say about how it wraps up.
Okay.
Old
Go
Kazran
ahead.
is soon visited by the holographic images of the ship's crew and passengers in the present, imploring for his help, but he waves away the holograms. The doctor appears, bringing young Kazran to show the child his future. The realization of how much his bitter future self now resembles his feared father causes Kazran to change his mind and decide to save the ship. So I think...
you just Back to the Future changed shit.
Yeah.
You just introduced this, like, you have, like, the child is now being like, oh my God, I see my future. So you, like, reverse Christmas Caroled.
Yeah. The Doctor finds his changes to Kazran's past have now locked him out of the controls to his father's machine. The Doctor instead has Abigail sing through one half of the broken sonic screwdriver. The other half, still inside the shark, resonates in the atmosphere, disrupting the storm and allowing the ship to land safely. Kazran releases Abigail, knowing that this will be for the last time, but Abigail understands and believes it's time for them to finally share a Christmas day together. And the end.
Gross.
I mean, now it's gross in a different direction.
Yeah, now it's like, oh, come on, Kazran. You little nasty old man.
Gross, motherfucker.
Gross, bro. Yeah, I would say everything that doesn't have to do with, like, the Doctor Who-niverse, I was super into. And that doesn't say that I wasn't into the wraparound stuff. I'm just not on it. Like, I don't know what in the world's going on. But I will say I'm kind of sold. Like, I might go back and watch the Matt Smith seasons at least.
I feel
this was fun.
I feel like this, sometimes when we're doing these episodes, especially when we're doing these like middle of the year episodes or an episode that we've watched for the first time, the question is like, would this make it into your rotation? I don't think it would make it into my yearly rotation, but I could see like a year, like 2 or 3 years from now being like, you know what, maybe I will throw on that Doctor Who special again.
Yeah.
Like I didn't hate it, but
No.
I don't think it's a yearly watch for me, but I do think that it is a special that I will like randomly think of every couple years and maybe throw on.
If I had like fully locked into this show when I was younger,
that's a whole
I think
different
this would be
world.
this would be a whole different thing. I think I came to Doctor Who in a way where I was like, maybe when I first gave it a shot, I knew I wasn't going to like it, or like I knew I wasn't getting into it.
And I think that there's an element, and no offense to any of our lovely patrons, because they really want us to talk about this, and I think that you guys are clearly excluded from this statement. But some Doctor Who fans are really annoying. like similar to how we've talked about juggalos and horror fans. Like
yeah, dude, 100%.
It is just a fandom that is so hyper fixated on that specific thing that sometimes you're just like, you almost like out of spite are like, I refuse to enjoy this show.
Yes.
Because I don't
Yep.
But
100%.
I'm charmed. I have been charmed regularly by episodes, but that's kind of, to me, Doctor Who is a show that has had some really good, unique episodes, but was never enough to pull me all the way in. But hey, if people found a happy comfort show out of this show, fucking great, because it's tough out there, and we all need something to bring us joy.
We need that stuff. I mean, we're at the point now where Teddy and I, again, I was texting you last night, and it was something that we swore would never happen, or at least I'll only make it so far through and then stop. But we've been looking for something comforting to watch, and we started The Simpsons, and we're almost through the first season. And like, I was like, I've seen random episodes of The Simpsons, but we've talked about that before, where it's just like, I've never sat down and watched a full season through. And I'm like, this is great to just kind of,
it's great background comfort.
Yourself.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
It's we haven't said this about a show in a bit, but it's a warm blanket show. Like if I can't think of what to throw on, I'll just throw on an episode of The Simpsons, because I like.
Yep.
For me, it's a little bit different because I know those episodes like the back of my hand, so I can like go into the kitchen and just kind of like hear lines and start laughing because I know like what it's in reference to. And it's like it's good for like our kids at our age right now, because they're like 10 and 8. So it's like, there's jokes that they just don't get, and that's fine. But there's enough that they do get that they're not miserable while it's on.
Yeah.
So it's, and that was like about the age I got into it.
I think I could see that in a different way, similar with this show here. Like I 100% get it.
Oh, I know that there are friends of mine who like watching Doctor Who with their kid is like their thing. Like, and that's awesome. Like,
love
listen,
that.
I love when people can do dorky ass shit with their children.
Hell yeah, man. That's absolutely amazing. So is
Yeah.
this widely accepted as the best Christmas?
I would actively, for me, I do not know. But what I
Okay.
will say is that
This is
it
the
wasn't
one.
even like people were like, you should watch a Doctor Who Christmas episode. It was like, you should watch the Christmas Carol Doctor Who episode.
Okay.
So,
that
and-
changes my feelings a little bit, and I'll because and here's why. I feel like I've heard so many things about the Doctor Who Christmas special. Like every year, like I always hear like, "Oh my god, like this is what they did in this year's Christmas special." Like this, like it's like legendary television.
Yeah.
Is what I always see it described as. And while I did enjoy this episode, if this is the best one, I don't think...
they also genuinely may have been like, watch this one because it has the lowest bar of entry.
That might be it too. Okay.
Like-
Because I am curious, because I do feel like there's some where like a lot more happens in terms of that. But I think that
truly
might
believe
be,
that this was
like, history.
I mean, we'll find out. They'll let us know. But I do.
Yeah.
If I had to make a guess, I think it was more of, hey, this is a real low bar to enter episode of Doctor Who where outside of a few bits you can just kind of go in blind. But hey, Merry Christmas, buddy.
I dug it. Merry Christmas, man.
Now we won't stop till the big ball drops on New Year's. Happy holiday, have a great holiday, have a merry happy holiday.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.